Today I am here to talk about the basics of the French grammar. So, basics of the French grammar include what is noun, what is verb, what is adjective, what is a pronoun, as what we learn in English. So, let's see what do we call them in French first, then we'll go into all the details. So, noun in French is called nom. Noun in French is called nom, N-O-M. And gender in French is called genre. So in French we have two genders, masculine and feminine. We'll talk about it in detail later. Then we have verb. Verb is called verb. Verb is called verb. Then we have adjectives. Adjective is called adjective. Adjective. Adjectives, adjectives. And pronouns are called pronoun. So we will now discuss each of them in detail. So you know what is a noun. Noun is basically a naming object. It can be a name of a person, place, animal or thing. So this all comes under noun. And whenever we have a noun, basis on the noun we decide the rest of the things. Gender is decided on the basis of noun. Adjective is decided on the basis of noun, and pronoun is also decided on the basis of noun, because basically a pronoun replaces a noun. So let's see in French how it goes. So noun is, I told you that naming object. Moving on to gender. So gender is basically divided into two categories, masculine and feminine. Let's see how. So we have masculine and feminine. So France people have considered a very simple rule for identifying masculine from feminine. What they say is most of the nouns that end with E would be feminine, but there are certain exceptions to it that you will learn slowly and steadily. But most of the, for example, if we divide it into percentage, so 85% of the nouns that are ending in E would be termed as feminine, and masculine is simple, which doesn't end with E. And sometimes it might be happening, the noun might not be ending with E, but still would be feminine. So there are certain exceptions. For example, I give you an example for livre. Livre is a book. But if you see, it's ending with E. But we don't consider that is feminine. It is as masculine. So this comes under the masculine category. Livre is masculine, but ending with E, but it's an exception to it. Similarly for fleur. Fleur is masculine. It's ending with R. Fleur, F-E-L-E-U-R, fleur, that's a flower. But it's ending with R, but it's une fleur. It's une fleur. Une is an article. We'll talk about the articles also. But une is used in front of feminine noun. So fleur is ending with R, but it's the noun feminine. So this is how we talk about gender. Moving on to verb. We have verbs as the action words, which we say action. When we do something or when there's some activity involved, that words are called verb. In French, there are three categories of verb. ER ending verbs, IR ending verbs and RE ending verbs. We will talk about them in detail in the later videos. For now, you can remember verb is called verb, three categories, ER ending, IR ending, RE ending. That's clear? Let's move on to adjectives. Adjectives are what describe a noun. For example, if I have to describe for me, I can say I am good, I am cute, whatever adjectives that come into my mind, so I can use them. My skin color is white. Anything that comes into your mind, that's what you can use to describe yourself. So whatever words that you would use to describe yourself are called adjectives. Adjectives in French are called adjective. Adjective. Now there are certain rules to adjectives also. What? For example, if I have to say adjective of a color. For example, if I have to say this dress is blue in color. So the adjective will come after the noun. The adjective will come after the noun because it's an adjective of color. Rest all adjectives are placed before the noun. all the adjectives except adjectives of color will come before the noun and the adjectives of color will come after the noun. First rule. Second rule, adjective describing that I am beautiful, I am young, I am old, that describes a person's personality also comes after the noun. Rest all comes before the noun, but these two categories, adjectives of color and adjectives of personality, comes after the noun, and rest all adjectives come before the noun. Now the last we have is pronoun. So pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, so that we don't have to repeat the noun again and again. So we use a pronoun. So pronoun is called pronoun. Pronoun is called pronoun. Now we will learn what are the different categories of pronouns in French. In English, if you know the French, in English the pronouns are he, she, it, they, I, we. So similarly we have it in French, but that's a little different to pronounce. So first pronoun we have is je, J-E, je. That is I. Je is I. Then we have tu. Tu is you. Tu is you. First we have je, then we have tu. Next we have il and elle. Il and elle comes into he, she or it. So these are the basic three categories of pronoun. Now we have another three sets of pronoun, but that's the plural version. These were the singular pronoun. Je, tu, il, elle. Je means I, tu means you, il, elle means he, she, it. Now moving on to the plural version. So for the plural version we have nous, N-O-U-S, then we have vous, V-O-U-S, and is and else. So nous means we, vous means they, plural. Then is else means they or yours or us. Okay. So nous is used as we, then we have vous, vous is used as they, is else is used as they. So you can also, for vous you can better understand it with you plural version. With you plural version. For singular you we learnt tu, but for plural we will use vous. How will we decide the pronoun? That will depend upon the verb and the noun. So you have to learn the pronoun according to the noun, and later in the sentences when you will have verbs there, you can learn with the verbs. That's it. So we'll repeat again. Noun was a naming object. Then we have gender. Gender was masculine, feminine. Simple rule. Feminine that ends with E is the nouns that ends with E are feminine, but there are exceptions to it. Then we had verb. Verb is an action word. You will learn different categories of verb, but the three categories: ER ending, IR ending, RE ending. Moving on to adjectives. Adjectives are generally placed before the noun, but two categories, adjectives of color and adjectives of personality, are placed after the noun. And adjectives are what? That they describe a person. They basically describe a noun that is there in the sentence. Then we had pronoun. Pronoun was replacing a noun. There are 6 types of pronoun: je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, ils, elles. That's what the pronoun is. So this was the basics of grammar. Now what we will be learning from the next video would be that what are articles, because there are different categories of articles. So we will be picking up the articles in the next video and moving ahead in the French grammar. Thank you so much people for all the support that you have been showing to me. I have been getting great love from you. Keep supporting. Thank you. Bye.